The beginning of the war is conventionally dated to the Marco Polo Bridge incident on the 7th of July 1937. When a dispute between Japanese and Chinese troops in Peking escalated into a full-scale invasion. This full-scale war between the Chinese and the Empire of Japan is often regarded as the beginning of World War II in Asia. The Battle of Shanghai was the first of the major engagement fought between China and Japan. After over 3 months of extensive fighting, the battle is concluded with a victory for Japan. Japanese easily took control over colonies of Vichy France. The attack on Pearl Harbor was a surprise military strike. Americans lost 4 battleships and some smaller ships. But aircraft carriers survived. They had left Pearl Harbor before attack. The United States was a neutral country at the time. The attack led to its formal entry into World War II the next day. Japanese aircraft continuously bombed the civilian water supply, which was expected to fail within days. British had to surrender. In other case, many thousands of civilians would die from thirst. About 80,000 British, Indian, Australian and local troops became prisoners of war. Churchill called fall of Singapore the worst disaster in British military history. Fall of Dutch East Indies was another great failure of Allies. American forces on Philippines were surprised and overrun by Japanese.
Enemy planes overhead!
Americans destroyed all 4 Japanese aircraft carriers that participated in the Battle of Midway. During the initial phase in early 1942, the Empire of Japan invaded the Australian-administered territory of New Guinea. After winning Battle of Leyte Gulf, Americans returned to Philippines. The purpose of capturing Iwo Jima Island was its 2 airfields. Americans could use them to deploy heavy bombers which would attack core Japan Isles. What's more, Chinese army launched offensive and pushed Kwantung Army, which was later totally destroyed by Soviet offensive in Manchuria. The United States detonated 2 atomic bombs over the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki on the 6th and the 9th of August 1945. Japan surrendered to the Allies on the 15th of August, 6 days after the Soviet Union's declaration of war and the bombing of Nagasaki. The Japanese government signed the Instrument of Surrender on the 2nd of September, effectively ending the war. The surrender of the Empire of Japan in World War II was announced by Emperor Hirohito on the 15th of August. However, isolated soldiers and personnel from Japan's far-flung forces throughout Asia and the Pacific refused to surrender for months and years afterwards.